It's 4 o'clock and I have the incredible Rowie with me today, and we're going to be having a chat about all things fantastic. That's what we do, isn't it? We talk about things that are fantastic. So welcome, Rowie.
Woohoo! May your Mondays be magical, may your Tuesdays be terrific, may your Wednesdays be very wow, and your Thursdays be thankful, may your Fridays be a fun day, may your Saturdays be super, may your Sundays be sparkly, because you choose them to be. Woo! Hello.
So I have known Rowie for a very long time, and she has this mission to change the names of the days of the week, and that was them. And many years ago, actually we still do, we answer the telephone with Thankful Thursday and Fun Friday, and so all inspired by you. Thanks, Rowie. So Rowie has a background in, background and foreground in fitness professional. Tell us a bit about yourself, Rowie.
I like to call myself a passionate exercise professional, and my mission is for people to be fit and strong so they can be healthy. And of course, the side effects of being fit and strong and healthy is that you'll have great hair, great skin, great nails, strong teeth, strong bones, a strong immune system. You'll have a positive attitude, and your life will just be so much better, regardless of who you are. So being fit and strong then means you're healthy, and then we've got this beautiful, passionate circle of, I feel good. And then your Mondays are magical.
Absolutely, every day. So what does it take to be fit and strong and healthy, and what are some tips and ideas?
I'm so happy you asked. And I apologize for my industry. The fitness industry has royally screwed up exercise. Most people think you have to exercise for at least 45 minutes or an hour. You have to go to a gym. You have to lift weights. You have to eat weird food out of a Tupperware container. People tell you what you can and can't do, and it's really weird clothing, clothes that, wrap around your body and make you look odd. And that just isn't what I do. That's a cult, or even, I could say culture, but it really is a cult of people that live their life that way. And that's awesome for them. But for human beings who just want to be fit and strong, if you just go to the physiology of how the human body works, to get fit, you've got to get puffed. And to be strong, you've got to lift heavy. And my mantra, and you'll hear me say this all the time, is 4 puffs an hour, 4 puffs an hour. Because if you get puffed, you get fit. And it takes about 10 seconds to get puffed. And you hear me use this all the time. Usain Bolt is called Usain Bolt, not Usain Walk. And he runs for around about 10 seconds. And in that 10 seconds, he's literally firing every system in his body to turn his body into a fat-burning machine, a virus-fighting machine, a happy drug-pumping machine, and obviously looks good too. So it takes about 10 seconds to get puffed. So the recommendation I have for everybody is about every 15 minutes, put an alarm on your watch, put an alert on your phone, and just get up and sprint. And whether that's sprinting on the spot, run up a flight of stairs, box a bag, skip rope, do some push-ups, do some jump squats, doesn't matter, but about every 15 seconds. And I'll give you the school example of this, which is very exciting. I spend a lot of time in schools and a lot with teenagers, and you would know even better than I do how many of our teenagers are on antidepressant drugs. Well, I have a real challenge with that, because the major side effect of antidepressants is suicidal tendencies. And when you're dealing with young teenagers who don't want to be alive anymore, this is not how I want our kids to live. And what's beautiful, though, is there's a lot of psychologists and psychiatrists now who are taking their kids off antidepressant medication, and they're putting them onto antidepressant exercise. So they're literally putting an alarm on their phone or their watch, and every 15 minutes they have to get up and sprint. And that just pumps happy drugs through your brain, automatically pumps dopamine, evens out your serotonin levels, brain-derived neurotropic factors so you think clearly. And now we've got kids that are happy all the time.
Yay!
4 puffs an hour.
4 puffs an hour. And how simple is that? When you're just going to walk up and down the stairs to even get something, to do it quickly and just get yourself puffed, rather than park at the other side of the supermarket and walk quickly.
And carry bags rather than use the trolley, and now you get strong as well.
Absolutely. And so you don't need all the fitness exercise gear that they tell you. It's just like, Absolutely. We can, while you're waiting for the jug to boil, just to do some squats and get puffed for that 15 seconds. It's just every day.
Isn't it easy? And we've made exercise so complicated and so boring and so hard. And the interesting thing is when you get puffed, you don't even get sweaty. You don't have to change your clothes. I do it in high heel shoes. I'll have my high heel boots on at the airport and I'm sprinting on the spot. People going, what are you doing? I'm turning my body into a fat burning machine.
Right.
It's that easy.
Yeah.
That easy.
So we're going to start this worldwide craze of
4 puffs an hour. 4 puffs an hour.
What are some of your other tips that you talk about being healthy, fit and strong?
Okay, so the other really big one, of course, is to be strong physically and mentally. And as a teacher, as a parent, as a coach, as a leader, I've got some students who are pastors. You can imagine what they're going through at the moment as well. They've got to provide spiritual help. And I've got one pastor who is also an exercise professional. And you can't just be physically fit, you have to be mentally fit and strong. And strength doesn't come from sprinting. Your muscles and bones don't get strong when you sprint. You actually have to overload your muscles and bones. And that means lifting heavy. But same again, most people think gym and weights. If you lift your shopping bags up off the ground and put them back down again and it's heavy, you will get strong muscles and bones. The key is for your hormonal system to fire and your central nervous system to fire. You have to lift something really heavy and use as many muscles at the same time as possible. So when you pick something up off the ground, you use your arms, your upper back, your chest, your abdominals, your lower back, all of your legs, your butt, your face muscles, your finger muscles, your toe muscles. And if you can do it more than 20 times, it's obviously too light. So if you pick something up off the ground and put it back down again, and I'm talking now, I'm doing home exercise programs for people where you fill up a suitcase with wet towels, a wheelbarrow with rocks and gravel, pick up your child. And if you can pick your child up more than 20 times and put them back down, you need a heavier child. You can use sheep. There's some people in New Zealand right now who are using sheep, a dog, their push bike, a set of golf clubs, a bucket full of rocks. It doesn't matter. As long as you can be somewhere between 0 and 20, it's really heavy. And that way you use muscles, bones, ligaments, tendons, joints, but most importantly, your endocrine system, your hormonal system. And I'll just give you the quick physiology for that because this is really important. If you get stressed, stress is the biggest killer in the world right now. Because when you get stressed, your body produces cortisol, which is awesome because that's the fight and flight drug. If an animal's going to kill you, you have to run away from the animal or you have to kill it. As teachers, as parents, as coaches, as leaders, we obviously can't run away because we have to take a whole heap of people with us. So we have to fight. We have to be strong enough to fight, which means fit and strong. Now, if you don't fight and flight, you don't get dispersed, or you don't disperse the cortisol. And cortisol, when it doesn't get dispersed, causes a state of dis-ease. We become weak and diseased. When you sprint and when you lift heavy, you get rid of the cortisol, pump happy drugs into your brain. Brain fills up with brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which now you think clearly. It gets really exciting. So we have to be fit and we have to be strong. And as a teacher, I believe, and I'm a teacher, I have students all day, every day from all over the world. I can't afford to be weak and I can't afford to panic. Panic's never part of the solution. I have to be fit and I have to be strong, and so do you.
Absolutely. Rowie, I've been doing some reading about that BDNF, brain-derived neurofactor. And
yes.
Is that right? And they call it the Wonder Grow drug for the brain, because when you actually BDNF, when you do this exercise, it actually helps you grow new brain cells and helps the brain cells clear out. And so for learning, how important is that our children are fit and strong and healthy and they've done some exercise every day, that we as learners every day also have that advantage as well. And so easy to do.
Well, and I hated school, so I'll lay that straight out there. And I finished school. I didn't even finish year 10, so my education at school is very limited. But ever since then, because I've been studying something that I'm really passionate about, for me, learning is everything. But I never try and learn something until I've sprinted first. Because if I want to learn something, I have to open up my brain cells to be ready for learning. which means I need to put fertilizer in my brain, which is BDNF. If I've got a challenge, or if I'm stressed, or if somebody frustrates me or is fascinating, as I like to call it, I go and sprint on the spot, because it disperses the cortisol, fills your brain up with brain-derived neurotropic factor, and you can think clearly. If you've got a brainstorming session with, and that's, that's my new favourite quote, if you're going to brainstorm, storm with people who have a brain. Which means you have to have BDNF in your brain. So before you have a brainstorming session, everybody needs to sprint on the spot so that you fill your brain up with fertilizer. And that's how acute the benefit of exercise is. We often talk about, I want to look good and I want to be healthy long term and I want to have strong muscles and bones, and you'll have all of that. But the acute benefit of exercise is the dispersal of cortisol, fill your brain up with happy drugs. And the big one there, again, is also dopamine, because it's a reward drug. So if I've sprinted and I feel good about myself, now I'm more open to even wanting to learn. And it's so simple and so easy. And I apologize for what my profession has done to exercise. We've made it this long, boring process. And it really isn't. It's just 10 seconds. 4 puffs an hour, 4 puffs an hour.
I can see my Spectrum team thinking, oh no, because at 10:30 every day and 2:30 every afternoon, there's an automatic alarm goes off in our office and we have a dance party for 1 minute. And so we're all like dancing around, and the idea is to get really huffy puffy. And so I'm just thinking we might need to do it more often. And particularly before our meetings.
Your brain doesn't, or your body, heart and lungs, cardiovascular, respiratory system doesn't know the difference of what you're doing. It doesn't, they're blind. They don't know whether you're dancing or punching or skipping or doing push-ups or jump squats or running up some stairs or running through soft sand. It doesn't matter as long as you get puffed. And dancing's a really good one, because dancing, of course, is fun. And if you combine, this is my other mantra, which is learn, laugh, huff, puff, lift. So if you're learning, you're laughing, you're huffing, you're puffing, and you're lifting, you're now filled up totally with every part of your brain is expanded to its maximum achievement level, because it's full of BDNF. So learn, laugh, huff, puff, lift, learn, laugh, huff, puff, lift, learn, laugh, huff, puff, lift.
Keep remembering that. Rowie, I hear so many people make excuses for why they don't exercise or why they're not eating healthy. And I think this is a really important time in history right now, as we've all been in lockdown and we've had to not do things that we'd normally do. But I'm seeing so many people walking, more people walking around the streets. I'm seeing families together. And so the interesting thing for me, and I'm running a workshop, or an online workshop about it tomorrow, is to really look at what excuses are we making? What have we learned during this last 4 weeks of lockdown? And how are we going to be different afterwards? Because I can see people are going to rush back to work and rush back to do their old life. And I hear people saying, it's all going to be different, the new normal. But is it? Because unless we change our habits, unless we change our thinking, I'm not sure it is. So what's some of your advice around those people who possibly what I would call living below the line and being that victim? How do we help people take responsibility for their lives?
Wow, there's a big question, woman. All right, I always keep it really simple. And remember, I'm the woman that was told I couldn't be successful because I've got blonde hair, I'm a woman, I don't have a tertiary education, and what do I know? And now I invest time talking in schools and at medical conferences.
I'd like to apologise for my profession teachers who have said that to you. Carry on.
I want to keep it so simple. If you get into the habit, and you don't even have to get into the habit, you just put an alarm on your phone. You put an alert on your watch that goes every 15 minutes. And it's not exercise, because when we think of exercise, we still think 5 minutes, 20 minutes, 50 minutes, an hour. And then you've got an excuse, I've got no time. The other thing about exercise, it's boring if you don't like it, or it's hard if you don't like it. But the beautiful thing about getting puffed every 15 minutes is that as soon as you feel puffed, you stop. So it's not like you've got to keep going, oh, this is really hard. No, it's the opposite. As soon as you feel puffed, stop. And then you don't do it again until 15 minutes later. And it's only 10 seconds. But what happens here is, and here's the multiple benefit. The acute benefit is happy drugs in your brain. Yes, you feel good. Second benefit, you turn your body into a fat-burning machine. We only store 0.5 kilo of carbohydrate, and our body prefers to use that carbohydrate because it's easy access. But if you turn your body into a sprinting machine, if every 15 minutes your body is expecting to sprint, it says, well, we better save that 0.5 kilo of carbohydrate because she's going to force me to sprint. And the only energy source for sprinting, and that's why the high intensity activity is so important, you only burn carbohydrate, you only burn sugar. So if every 15 minutes you are pumping as hard as you can, what happens now is your respiratory quotient, which is where are the calories coming from, your body, because we're an adaptive machine, your body automatically says, well, hang on a minute. If she's going to sprint every 15 minutes, we're going to store the carbohydrate for the sprinting, and we're going to turn our body into a fat-burning machine, which we have lots of storage. Carbohydrate, 0.5 kilo, that's all you can store. Fat, not only can you store it, but we've got 50, and I don't know who counted them, but apparently somewhere between 40 to 50 billion fat cells on our body, and they're like balloons, which can keep blowing up, as we know. And when they get really big, they actually split into 2 fat cells, which means they can keep getting bigger. So we have an ultimate storage tank for fat, carbohydrate, only 0.5 kilo. Now, your body will turn carbohydrate into fat if you put too much in there. But if every 15 minutes you're sprinting, your body becomes a fat-burning machine and a calorie-burning machine. So it's constantly in the state of, I need to burn up the sugar or carbohydrate because I'm using it. And that fat that you've got, the other hours that you're not exercising, your body says, well, we're going to use fat, not carbohydrate. So you literally turn your body into a fat-burning machine. Now, that's the simple part. The tough part is, why do people not exercise? There's an excuse for time. But let's just say that you had to exercise for an hour every day, which you don't. But let's just say you did. If there was a drug that would stop you from getting sick, that stopped you from picking up any germ, bug or virus, and if you did pick it up, you would fight it off. It kept you in great shape, gave you great hair, great skin, great nails, made you look good in your clothes, made you tight to touch, gave you great posture, gave you great self-esteem and self-confidence, and helped you control your hormonal system. Those of us that are over 50 hear too much rubbish about menopause and the hormonal system. Well, when you're really fit and strong, you're in control of your hormones, not the other way around. So if that's the perfect drug. It's perfect. You don't have to take an hour of it every day. You just have to inject yourself 4 times an hour, and you have control of all of those things. So you talked about a time of change. This is the ultimate time in history, because up until now, most people have considered exercise, it's all about tight butt cheeks and ripped abdominals. And that's never what I've been about. But here's the beautiful thing. When you're fit and when you're strong, the other side effect is you have a great body, because your body's a fat-burning machine and your muscles are strong, so they're tight to touch. So the looking good just becomes a side effect of this amazing, energetic, strong, mentally tough human body. And that's the next thing. As a teacher, as a parent, as a coach, I don't think we have an option to be weak. We have to be mentally tough. And if I use the example, if I'm going to pick up a big bag of groceries, and the grocery bag's filled up with bottles of water, cans of food, and washing powder, for example, so it's really heavy. Let's say it's 20 or 30 kilos. If I pick that up, put it back down, pick that up, put it back down, and I get to about 11 or 12, and that's really heavy and I don't want to do any more because it's now I can really feel it. If I do 1 more, 2 more, half a 1 more, I get much, much stronger physically, but I get so much stronger mentally. I become mentally tough, because strength for our brain, as you know, comes from everything you do after you think you can't do anymore. Every step that you take, everything that you do after you think you can't do anymore, that's when you get stronger. So this whole thing about being fit and strong, take away the I've got to do hours and hours. 4 puffs an hour, 4 puffs an hour, lift something heavy a couple of times a week, and your body will be a fat-burning machine, a happy drug-pumping machine, a virus-fighting machine, and you'll handle everything. I call it be a master of change and challenge. Be a master of change and challenge, not a victim of it. You have to be a master of it. So from this day forward, I solemnly swear that I will do 4 pups an hour, turn my body into a fat-burning, virus-fighting and happy machine. How does that sound for simple and easy and no excuses?
It sounds so easy and almost too good to be true, but I know it is true. And it's something that I've personally experienced over the last year while I've been working on being fabulous at 50 and being able to, get my body strong and look after myself. And I tell you, my mental capacity is so much better. My confidence is so much stronger just because I am fit and healthy. And so totally.
So here's the next challenge, woman. Sexy at 60, sensational at 70, awesome at 80, never give up at 90, and happy and healthy at 100 plus. Woohoo!
Challenge accepted.
Good.
I think I'm actually healthier now than I was when I got married. And my husband actually said to me the other day, he said, I wonder if your wedding dress will fit again. And I'm like, it'll fall off me.
That's so good.
I'm pretty proud about that. So that's pretty cool. There's a quote that I love from Robin Sharma who says, you can't be a victim and take mastery or be responsible for your life at the same time. You can be one or the other. You can be a victim or you can take responsibility for your life. And I really love that. And that's what you're saying, right? It's a choice.
If I go, and because this is my profession, I'll take it a little bit further. There's a lot of talk and a lot of books and a lot of information about positive thinking and being a strong human being. But I'm coming at it the reverse angle. It is impossible to be grumpy. It is impossible to be angry. It is impossible to be miserable with the world if you've just been puffing, because you've got happy drugs in your brain. The physiology of your body changes. So I can sit on the couch in the morning and say, I'm going to get fit, I'm going to get fit, I'm going to get fit, I'm going to be positive, I'm going to have a fantastic day, I'm going to have an awesome day, and still have a shit day because I didn't do anything to make sure that I have a great day. So this is a really interesting example because I've been doing this all of my life. And unfortunately, I didn't get a great education for physical activity until I was about 30. So I did a lot of stupid exercises where you put shearing forces across your joints, like sit-ups and bicep curls and leg extensions, and exercises that really hurt your joints. So consequently, I have a body that doesn't work very well because for 30 years of my life, I destroyed every joint in my body. So in the morning, the first thing I have to do, because when I get out of bed, I'm a little bit sore, old, tired. So the first thing I do though is I get on my cross trainer, which is not a pounding exercise. It's like bike riding in the upright position. And the very first thing I do is I go absolutely flat out, like full on flat out for 3 or 4 times. So I go really hard, get my breath back, really hard, get my breath back. And I get off the cross trainer and I can walk freely. So I have all the synovial fluid back into all of my joints. You know how people say, oh, I can't exercise because I'm sore? Well, if you saw me get up in the morning, you'd say that woman shouldn't be moving. She's too old. However, within a couple of minutes, literally, I can move around because my joints are now being lubricated and I've got happy drugs pumping through my brain. So I can't have a bad day. There's another thing that women do is we get up in the morning, we look in the mirror, and if you don't like what you see, you end up having a fat day because you go, oh, I'm fat. So you've told yourself that you're fat, so you feel fat, so you have a fat day. But if you sprint first thing in the morning before you look in the mirror, when you look in the mirror, you got happy drugs pumping through your brain, you go, wow, I look good today. And there's no fat day to be had. I always used to be about be happy and be positive and then you want to exercise, but it's the other way around. You cannot be fit, and I'll go a step further. You cannot get puffed and feel miserable. It's not possible. The physiology won't allow your body to do that. So, and it's not about going for a walk, and that's lovely as for relaxation, but you've got to do intense activity to pump happy drugs into your brain, and then you feel amazing. And you can't help it. You can't even feel crap if you want to because your brain won't let you.
I think there's so many ramifications for teachers in classrooms, for parents with children, parents for themselves, just getting up off the couch during this lockdown and making sure we're not just, thinking the positive, but we're actually doing and getting those happy drugs.
And what if you get into the habit of it? So it's just an automatic thing. It's not like, and I'm going to do it. You ready? On your mark, get set, go. 10, 9, 8, 7, go. 6, harder. 5, harder. 4, go, go, go. 3, 2, 1. Because we're about time. I'm aiming to push my body into that position where it feels the 15 minutes without having to have an alarm. Now, what's happened is now we're puffing. If you put an effort in, you'll be puffing.
I hope everyone who's watching did that.
What was that?
I hope everyone who's watching did it.
Yes. But we didn't get sweaty and we still got nice clothes on. You just now go back and do what you're doing. It's 10 seconds. It's 10 seconds. That's 40 seconds in an hour. It's not even at 5 minutes a day. But now you've got a body that cannot be miserable. And imagine, and because I've been preaching this quite a while now, evangelizing. I'll give you one example. There's a real estate office in Whangarei in New Zealand. And they came to it, and it's a long story, but they came to a loggers chat, and the logger took the information home to his wife, and then she shared it with her real estate office. And they have an alarm in their office every 15 minutes. Everybody gets up and sprints. And she said now it's just like little robots. We just get up, sprint, sit back down again. She said, but here's the big thing. Productivity through the roof. Sick days, everybody feels fantastic all the time, because most people don't have a sick day because they're sick. Most people have a sick day because they're stressed or unhappy. So that was before lockdown. So what's going to happen now is if they took that into lockdown for 4 weeks, that then becomes a habit. We're in the habit of, and I'll give you another example. People say to me, Rowie, do you exercise every day? That's very fanatical, every day. Yes, and I brush my teeth every day, and I have a shower every day, and I eat food every day, and I wear clothes every day, and I go to sleep every day, don't you?
Absolutely.
So it becomes part of your life, a normal part of your life. We teach our kids to brush their teeth. Why don't we teach them to look after the rest of their body?
Absolutely. One of the conversations I've been having a lot with teachers right now is that leading without a title, and you need to be happy, healthy, and strong to be able to do that. And you might not be the principal, or you might not be the team leader, but we are leading children, we are leading the parents, we're leaders, and no matter what we do. And so what are some of the ideas that you have that can help people watching and the people viewing to really step into that leadership role, whether they've got the title or not?
So isn't it interesting, and we've all had this experience where somebody might have the badge, or somebody might be called the boss or the principal or the CEO, but they have little or no respect because there's somebody else in that organisation who has the leadership role without, exactly like you're saying, without the badge, without the title. And because I teach this as part of our international business diploma. Surely leadership, we can talk about it, and there's seminars and workshops, and it's a bit like being positive, really. Surely it's about living the example. So for me, there's 4 areas in your life. Obviously, your human body, it needs to be healthy, fit, and strong. You have to be doing something that you love. If you don't love what you do, particularly if you're a teacher, and I remember this at school, I knew the teachers that loved being teachers, and I knew the teachers that didn't want to be teachers. Kids are really smart. And if you're passionate and you love what you do, and this is the beautiful thing right now about, I was sharing with you before about people having to go online, even though they're used to teaching in a group, they now have to teach to a camera. But if you do this for the right reason, it comes out of your heart and soul and your ears and your pores of your skin and out of your breath. It's just who you are. So if you're not doing what you're passionate about, get the hell out of there and go and do something else. Find what you are passionate about. And isn't that what being a teacher is all about? Helping our kids find out what they're passionate about. But this is my really important point. If you don't live the example, then our kids know that. So if you're not healthy, fit and strong, but you tell them to be healthy, they're not going to do it. If you tell kids to have a career that they love, but you hate your job, doesn't matter what comes out your mouth, no one's going to believe you. Most of our communication is in our words anyway, and our kids can pick that from a million miles away. Financial freedom, whether you think it's important or not, try living in the Western world without any money. And some people will actually be having to do that in the next little while. You can't do it. Now, the interesting thing is a lot of people do their job for the money, but the people who make the most money are the ones who don't do it for the money. It's the people who would do it for free. And even if they didn't get paid, they'd still rock up. And they're you and I know those teachers. They're the ones that they put in 50, 60, 70, 80 hours a week, and they don't even expect to get paid. It's not like they're saying, I do all this work and nobody notices. They don't even want to be noticed because it's who they are. They love what they do. And then, of course, the last one is relationships. And if you talk to kids about being a great person and communicating effectively, and you don't live it and breathe it, then kids, they don't listen. You and I know this. So those big 4 areas of your life, your health and fitness, your career path, your finances, and your relationships, for me, it's not about talking about them. It's about living them. And that beautiful expression, kids will watch what we do, even if we're screaming what we say. They're still not listening because they're watching. And I challenge all parents and all teachers and all leaders, don't set an example, bloody live the example. Do what you love, be healthy, fit and strong. Make sure you're doing it not for the money. Too many parents say, I have to go to work to earn money. But it's the other way around. It's do what you love, and then the money will come automatically, because people want to do business with you. People want to come to your school. People want to be involved with people who are passionate about what they do. So for me, it's never, ever about the badge of course. It's about the person who lives the example. So my challenge and question is, are you living the example that you are wanting the world to see? How's that for an answer?
Beautiful, Rowie. I saw a video the other day of a gentleman he interviewed the attendant in the toilets at Johannesburg Airport. And this man is so passionate about his job. He would do it whether he was paid or not.
Yep.
And at the men's toilets, he's pristine. He is so proud. He calls people who come in his clients, and it was just gorgeous. He says, my role here in these men's toilets is to make sure it's pristine and beautiful and you have the best experience ever. And he was just, he's not getting paid for all that extra. He could just sit there and frown all day like, well, I haven't been into the men's toilet. Not like that. But he had this amazing philosophy around I'll be the best toilet cleaner I can be. So,
and that's my serious question for all teachers isn't that what education is all about? To find out what lights our kids up, what they're excited about, what they're passionate about, and make sure that that's what they do with their life. And you and I have too many examples of people that have been told they can't do it, or they're not smart enough, or they'll never be able to achieve that, and they go and do it anyway because that's what they were passionate about. But what I don't want is the kids who end up, I wanted to be, but I was told I couldn't, and I believed that person. And when you're in a leadership role, often people will believe you if you say can't, and I hate can'ts. I'm a can person. And there's too many examples of people that were told that they can't, and they went and did it, and they did it successfully and with passion and enthusiasm. So imagine if that person was then given the direction from a leader that, yes, you can, and here's how, and let's brainstorm it, and let's make sure that happens for you. And surely that's the responsibility of all leadership roles, of all teachers, of all parents. Let's find out what lights you up, what you're excited about, and let's make sure that you go do that, not some lousy, stinking, rotten job. And if that's the toilet cleaner or the bus driver or a landscape gardener or a doctor or a lawyer or a singer, it doesn't matter. I use this example all the time. A lot of teenagers say to me, Rowie, I'd like to be a rock star, but I can't sing. And I always answer with exactly the same answer. Plenty of rock stars can't sing.
That's true.
We go and watch them, don't we? Because they're passionate, enthusiastic, and excited about what they do, and they believe that they're really good at what they do, and that's probably the biggest thing, isn't it? So, as a leader, do we have the career path that we are really passionate about? I asked you that question today. What are you excited about, and why do you do this? And your face just lit up like it's not a candle, it was a lighthouse. I do this because I want kids to have the light in their eyes and want to keep learning. That's the only reason to do what you do, so that you're adding value to your world. Surely that's the only reason you would do your job.
Yes, and that's in the course I'm running tomorrow, that's one of the things we're going to be talking about. What's your why? because if you don't have that strong why, and I often say to teachers, go back and think about, why did you start being a teacher? What was the passion back then, and rekindle that passion or reignite it if you need to. And even parents, it's like, parenting is a hard job, particularly when you're trying to now work from home and parent.
Yeah.
But think about, why did you want to have children? What was that, about being able to be that model for them, and whatever it is. And so go back to the why.
Well, there's a great question. And I'll put it into a different perspective. You often hear this in relationships, and you'll probably have a giggle. In my relationship, I have to do lots of sacrifice and compromise. Well, why? When you've got two people who are passionately excited about life and they come together, it's like an explosion. Nobody's trying to change anybody. Nobody's trying to sacrifice what they do so the other person can do what they do. It's just these two people that come together and do what they love. I've got a husband that travels the world fighting taekwondo. He's over 50 and is 19 times world champion. And I have people say to me, Rowie, how come you let him go? And I go, that is a really bizarre question. I don't let him do anything. I also travel the world on my own, and he doesn't let me go. We're just two great people who happen to have found each other. It's not about sacrifice and compromise. If you are going to work every day thinking, I have to, this is really hard, I have never, and we hear this expression, when you find something that you love, you never work a day in your life. For me, work is doing something when you'd rather be doing something else. So I've never worked a day in my life. I've never felt, this is hard. I found it challenging and exciting. So when a challenge comes along, you go, wow, I can't wait to overcome this challenge. It's one of the questions I've been asking people this last 4 weeks. Oh, Rowie, it's really tough at the moment. It's really hard. And my answer's been, well, all this personal and professional development you've been doing, what's the use of it if you never get to test your personal and professional development? For God's sake. So here's this great opportunity to test and get stronger and get wiser and smarter, and that's what will happen. I always use this expression. When something tough happens, and Kayman and I worked out, that's my husband and I, we worked out since we've been alive, we've had 7 major world disasters, whether it's been a war or AIDS or SARS or the World Trade Center or the global financial crisis. There's been 7 of them in our lifetime. And there's 3 things that happen. People die. Of course they die. But interestingly, we're all going to die, aren't we? Like, this is not new news. We're all going to die. It's how we live that's important. So you'll either die, you'll survive, so you'll just make it through, or you'll thrive. And it's interesting that the reason we've come through in my lifetime 7 major world challenges is because there's people who thrive, and then they pull everybody else through. That's called leadership, isn't it? And no one gives them a freaking badge for that. They just are the people who go, okay, let's go. We've got a challenge. Let's overcome this challenge and let's move on. And they do. So bring on the challenge. Bring on the test of personal development.
And that's a wonderful place to pause, I think, because it's about how you're going to thrive in these times so you can lead and so you can influence. So thank you so much, Rowie. Rowie, if people want to get in contact with you, how can they do that?
Something I'm doing as a special gift to the world right now. Obviously, people are exercising at home, but I believe from going forward that if you love going to the gym, by all means go, but you don't have to go to the gym. So I've been doing a daily exercise session called Max Fit. So it's positivity and exercise, huffy puffy, 4 puffs an hour, 4 puffs an hour, lift heavy things. And that's available. It's just called Max Fit, and you'll find it. Max is the name of my college, and it's really easy to find on YouTube or Instagram or any of those things. Not hard to find, but certainly a great gift that you could exercise at home, exercise with your family. I exercise with my vacuum cleaner, with a rake, with a wheelbarrow, with the hose reel. It's just this really fun exercise program, and it's literally from my heart to yours to get you moving and doing 4 puffs an hour and getting strong.
Fantastic. I'll put the link in the chat below so that people can find that as well. So thank you.
Your workshop tomorrow is for...
It's about redesigning your life post COVID-19. So it's like, what's going to look different? And so it's really a deep dive. It's 3 hours from 10 till 1 tomorrow, vision boarding, thinking about how are we going to be different when we come out of this, because we can talk about it or we can put some plans in place. So that's what it's about tomorrow.
So this is for me, and I've known you a very long time now. And apart from the fact that you look younger and sexier than when I first met you, like 12 or 13 years ago, and you look younger and sexier than when I first met you. But I have very few people in my life who are committed to excellence and committed to what they believe in. And if people haven't heard this about you, and I know that the people that know you will already know this, but sometimes it's really good to hear it from another person, is that you are the epitome of what good teachers stand for and what being a great teacher is all about. And I'm just so appreciative that I got little tears in my eyes. I'm so appreciative that teachers have you in their lives, and whether or not you feel that appreciation, because I know that you don't need it, but I just wanted you to hear that from me today, that you really, really, really are a very special person.
Thank you so much, Rowie. Back at you as well. Thank you so much. So if you want to see the replay of any of the Spectrum TV, it's at spectrumeducation.com. And please stay healthy and strong and safe out there. And next week, I'm talking to two incredible people. The information will be on the Facebook page, and I look forward to meeting you. At the new time of 4 p.m. Every day. So, yep, 4
Can we finish with a song? Can we finish with a happy song?
Let's go.
May your Mondays be magical, may your Tuesdays be terrific, may your Wednesdays be very wow, and your Thursdays be thankful, may your Fridays be a fun day, may your Saturdays be super, may your Sundays be sparkly, because you choose them to have a super duper strong end.
Thank you. Thanks, Rowie. Bye.